Hello, YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be watching a very unsettling case exposing a VR cult by Brandon FM. As I was just saying to chat, a subject that I believe is discussed in this video is how minors are low-key being involved in these VR chat rooms, which is disgusting because DMing is already bad, messaging with people under the age of consent, but VR takes it to another level where you could basically be performing inappropriate acts with these people. Like even if it's not in real life, it's just nasty. It's nasty, bro. Like just imagine there, like somebody in their VR goggles from the comfort of their home talking to your little brother, to your little sister or something, and they're just like, I'm not even gonna no, I was about to act out. No, I'm not gonna be doing that. No, but actually what I will share is that my friend has actually been on VR chat a lot, and he actually recorded. He actually recorded people fucking in there. Not like minors or anything. This was like an 18+ chat room. Actually, I should ask my friend why the fuck he was in there. Like they were making noises and shit. Like it was so. Anyways, before we get into today's video, as you can see, we are streaming on Twitch right now. There's chat over there. Say hi, everybody. But yeah, we watch disturbing ass things like this all the time. We play games sometimes. We watch Vocaloid, all kinds of stuff. You should like join us for the fun sometime. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter to stay updated on what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now. I'm very curious to see what kind of disgusting shit is happening in these VR chat rooms. All right, let's go, baby. Epilepsy warning.
The idea of a cult functioning purely online is nothing new. However, whenever one is discussed, it's usually just an internet mystery with speculative evidence. Numerous well-crafted videos have been made on the topics of virtual cults. In fact, if we look at the top comment on the video Cult in a Dead MMO by the YouTuber Nexpo, we can see that user KAP111 commented the following.
The vibe already of this video is already very creepy. Like the very ominous ambient sound in the background. I don't like this shit. Also, VR stuff just kind of spooks me, not gonna lie. Like, sorry for any VR chat people. I don't know, man. VR chatters that are really into that shit, that go on that shit every day. Y'all kind of scare me. I'm gonna be real.
User KAP111 commented the following.
Imagine looking back on VR chat in the next 20 years and realizing there were cults in there as well.
It was only a matter of time before online cults pierced through into the virtual reality sphere. And today, I've decided to fast-track that 20-year expectation all the way to 2022 and show you what I believe to be the first documentation of a cult that lives in virtual reality.
Oh shit.
And this time, it's not just a theory.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the
Not
seatbelt
just a
sign is
theory.
on.
This shit's real.
Eu quis amar, mas tive medo e quis salvar
Some Brazilian.
meu coração, mas o amor sabe segredo. O medo pode matar o seu coração.
I love being serenaded before I am traumatized.
My name is I'm 16. However, at 15, I was a member of a virtual reality cult. I ended up joining the Dark Guild from a school friend who told me that bad things were happening on the server. So I initially went there wanting to take down the server from the inside. However, that thought would inevitably change over time. In the beginning, it felt cool to join a server with the main goal of getting it shut down, almost like a James Bond or undercover cop. But in hindsight, I was way too over my head.
I'd say if I'm being honest, my first impressions of the Dark Guild were kind of nice.
She was this girl's 13. Nah, man. And it's VR. It's a VR cult. In real life, there's at least the fear of consequence. People online, because they think, oh, it's fake. Like they're going to use the shield. Oh, none of this is real. There's more likelihood of sexual exploitation that will go on.
I'd say if I'm being honest, my first impressions of the Dark Guild were kind of nice. I mean, I genuinely enjoyed my time there, but as time went on, I slowly realized what type of place it really was.
My name is Theo. I'm 13 years old. However, I was 12 when I joined the Dark Guild. My first impression of the guild was that it was a bit silly, a sort of strange roleplay that Alyssa was doing with a bunch of people on a Discord server.
I met Alyssa a while ago. Sometime last year, I was in a world with one of my friends when all of a sudden there she was. We got talking, and that's essentially how it all started.
I ended up joining the Dark Guild after Alyssa proposed it to me and told me.
This is the guy from Sword Art Online. I'm sorry. It's just like, it's funny seeing all these anime characters.
I ended up joining the Dark Guild after Alyssa proposed it to me and told me a little bit about it. It was basically like a small friend group where we could offer support to one another and chat. Just like a normal Discord server, I guess.
Alright. If I'm going to tell this, I better tell this from the start.
Ooh, a real person. A real kid.
It actually started...
On the 12th of March, I was contacted by someone who claimed that they were a former member of a VR cult. Although I was extremely doubtful of what this person was claiming in their message, I thought it was worth a call. And after we were done speaking, I was a lot more confident in their story. So I started my deep...
It's a voice changer so that they protect their identity, chap. His voice isn't actually that deep.
After we were done speaking, I was a lot more confident in their story. So I started my deep dive into what I believe to be the first ever real virtual reality cult. Now, with that being said, since I'm treading into uncharted territory here, let's first answer the question of what are a cult's intentions. First of all, a cult doesn't have intentions without its leader. Charles Manson, David Koresh, Jim Jones, and Marshall Applewhite all became the face of the message they were preaching. A cult leader is treated like Jesus within the confines of their members. Their words are taken as gospel, and they follow a strict set of beliefs.
Chat, do we constitute as a cult? Am I y'all's king? Can I please be y'all's king? I'm just kidding. Sorry, no. Chill.
And they follow a strict set of beliefs, usually outside of what the average person would perceive as normal. But how do you get an average person to believe in extremist things? Especially when those people have been wired a certain way ever since they were born. The simple answer is, you just start the process of rewiring. Let's put it this way. This is the color brown. That's what you and I have both been taught our whole lives. Now one day, you wake up, and suddenly, everyone around you is calling this color green. After enough time has passed, and everyone around you keeps telling you that this color is in fact green, you too will start incorporating it into your vocabulary. Therefore, you will also start believing it as a fact. And who knows, maybe it is. But either way, your brain has just been rewired to associate the word green with this color.
That's actually really interesting to me because that is true. I mean, language is completely made up. But like we call the color green. Like how green looks like, we just assigned a word to it. So yeah, I mean, if you grew up being taught that color is actually called brown, it would be brown. All of these trees, they would still look the same. Like the trees would still be this color, aka what we now know as green, but we would just be calling it brown.
Let's take it a step further. Let's say all your life you grew up in a religious household. You believe Jesus is 100% real because your entire family has told you that your whole life. Then, you move out at 21, start hanging out with a group of atheists, and suddenly, after a few months, your brain starts to warm up to the idea of there being no God. You have just been rewired.
Oh, this is the VR.
The two examples I gave are extremely harmless. The difference between those types of brain rewirement and occults is that occults are usually a lot more extreme. Murder, sacrifices, suicide, and
Dude,
just a few of a myriad of things a cult leader might want to rewire a member's brain to think should be accepted.
Yeah, man, cults get so dark, bro. Like they just make you think certain things are normal and okay, like that. Like the I might bleep this out for YouTube, but yeah, suicide pacts. Some people will literally just do that, and they're not scared of doing it. Like they were groomed into thinking, oh yeah, this is normal. This is like the next step in my cult, I don't know, advancement or whatever. It's dark.
So
dark
although
stuff.
answering a question like might be easy, answering why they might have those intentions is the equivalent of asking why a serial killer murdered a dozen people. There's never a logical reason or conclusion besides because they wanted to. That's what makes them so terrifying, and that is why almost every leader of a huge cult has turned into a pop culture icon. Because people want to understand.
Why? Why did they follow you?
Because I'm in the soul. I'm in the fist.
What does that mean?
It's like
The fist, the
brainwashing.
family of the infinite soul.
I think the intentions of the Dark Guild were to, I guess, grow, expand more. Essentially, so they had like connections everywhere with everyone. And Alyssa often said that she would stop anyone who got in her way.
The guild wanted to start operations where they would kill and kidnap criminals like drug dealers, bank robbers, and such.
Alyssa often said the point of the Dark Guild was to kill the bad people, like etc. I mean, it was advertised as a group for doing good.
The people that spent the majority of their time in there really thought that Alyssa was capable of killing people and believed
who's
that she had
Alyssa?
killed people due to her claiming that she had.
Oh, was Alyssa like the head?
It was like bragging to her.
I believe Alyssa did really desire power and control. I remember once in a call she spoke of eventually moving from Discord to physical. Then once everyone was together, she wanted to use them to kill people, such as like drug dealers and murderers. She made it very clear that anyone working for the government that tried to stop or monitor it would just be taken out as well. I think this just shows how deluded she really is. But yeah, she would always have these sort of crazy ideas.
Ew.
So how does a cult function in VR? Is a VR cult less extreme than one that might exist in the real world? Or is it possible for a VR cult to reach the same extremities as one of the most notorious cults in history? A cult like Aum Shinrikyo. To answer that, we need to veer slightly off track for a second and go back to the heart of Japan in the year 1987. Not only to understand how tragic a powerful cult can be, but also so we have an understanding of how cults worked in a time where technology wasn't so advanced.
Oh man, I'm sorry, like I can't wait to go back to Japan, bro, specifically Tokyo. I'm going back in October. Well, after I go to Korea.
People weren't living their lives through a headset. Aum Shinrikyo roughly translates to the supreme truth, which is exactly what the organization set out to spread after converting their yoga and meditation group into a religious movement. The leader of the group was Shoko Asahara, and he believed he was the most enlightened individual since Buddha. But unfortunately, most of the people that joined the group were not yet aware of Shoko Asahara's true intentions. After a few years, the cult had set up a facility in the middle of nowhere to develop
sarin gas,
a deadly fume that was famously used in World War II. However, the cult had no desire to use it on any conflicting country. They were going to use the gas on their own people with the intention of overthrowing the Japanese state and starting the Third World War, the first move in a chess game that would end up with them in full control. The interesting thing is, it wasn't just misinformed people that joined the organization. Some of the most educated people in Japan.
Oh, Aki Dearest made a video on that? On this cult? The Japanese cult, not the VR cult.
Some of the most educated people in Japan became infatuated with Shoko's ideologies, not because Shoko had figured out the true meaning of life, but because he was a master manipulator at making people believe he had. And it was through that attribute that Shoko had gained an immense amount of power to carry out the biggest attack in Japanese history.
Oh, fuck.
So on the 20th of March, 1995, a senior medical doctor, 3 physicist graduates, and other cult members carried out an attack on 3 of the subway lines running through Tokyo, Japan, releasing a deadly amount of onto thousands of passengers commuting to their destination. 14 people died, and over 1,000 were injured.
Wait, that's insane.
It was rush hour when the sarin gas began to spread through Japan's subway system. Released from plastic bags.
Yeah, that's like a coordinated terrorist attack.
5 crowd sarin gas began to spread through Japan's subway system. Released from plastic bags onto 5 crowded trains. Deemed the worst act of domestic terrorism in Japan's modern history. 2 months later, Japanese authorities arrested Shizuo Matsumoto, a man better known as Shoko Asahara. Asahara predicted that Armageddon would occur in the 1990s and told his followers that they would create a new world. By the time of the Tokyo subway attack in 1995, the cult had 10,000 followers in Japan and some 30,000 in Russia. Devotees included doctors and engineers who produced the chemical weapons used to carry out the group's crimes. While Asahara built himself on charisma, he spoke little during his trial, muttering incoherently without ever explaining his motivation.
He looks like he smells like shit, bro. Sorry.
Muttering incoherently without ever explaining his motivation. He was sentenced to death in 2004, along with 12 followers. Asahara's cult.
Oh, so he was executed?
I'd say the main ages of the guild ranged anywhere from like 13 to 30. That's my guess anyway.
13 to 30. Like, bro, it's just a recipe for disaster. You have all of these little kids mixed in with 30-year-olds even in these cults all together like a community. You're going to have grooming going on, bro.
The guild's age range was mainly between the ages of 12 and 17, but there are older people too. However, a lot were few and far between. The Dark Guild was definitely a cult. It had all the traits of a cult. People followed Alyssa and listened to everything she said without question. Anyone who spoke against her was dealt with. So over time, the words that came out of Alyssa's mouth became the guild's gospel.
Yeah, some of the normal conversations that would typically go on in the Dark Guild text chats would be, or like ERP for short.
I called it ERP, stands for erotic roleplay. Roleplay in this definition refers to the typing RP done in video games, chat rooms, and forums. Erotic roleplay. I told you, bro. You have motherfuckers that old with people that young? Oh, nah.
Or just like asking other people how their days are going. It was quite a wide range of things, I'd say.
Most conversations that took place in the text and voice chats of the guild were about sex and how Alyssa was.
How horny Alyssa?
A cult's power comes from the manipulation of the human mind, and it is a lot harder to do that when the mind has access to an infinite amount of information at all times, which is why cults usually limit access to certain parts of the internet and keep all of the members on a tight leash. But nowadays, that's a lot easier said than done. So how is it possible for a cult to be purely based online, let alone in virtual reality? Well, from the one that I've been investigating, I can say at least in this particular case, the cult leader used emotional manipulation a lot more than informational. This is because nowadays, people form emotional connections a lot easier because of technology, especially
Guilty.
People form emotional connections a lot easier because of technology, especially virtual reality technology.
Okay, not virtual reality. I don't be on that shit. But I swear, I don't go outside. I lack any connect. I be catching feelings so fucking fast.
Especially virtual reality technology. So with that being said, let me introduce you to the Dark Guild, a cult that primarily operates on 2 digital platforms, VRChat and Discord. Almost all of the members were recruited into the Discord server through VRChat, which is where the cult would have the majority of its activities. For those who aren't aware of what VRChat is, it's essentially a virtual reality socializing game for 13-year-olds and above. However, there is a wide variety of people who play this game, but the people who usually sink the most time into this vast virtual sandbox are players with social anxiety in the real world, which is also why, unfortunately, countless predators use it as their go-to service for
No, yeah. Makes perfect sense, too. I mean, think about it. I mean, why do you think people are on VR chat? Like, why are you in virtual reality and not in actual reality interacting with people? Because they probably don't have much friends IRL. And if they're here, that probably means they're lonely. Maybe they're just awkward, socially inept. And then, yeah, he just said social anxiety, which is a prime target for a predator. And that's why a lot of grooming goes on in a lot of these VR chat rooms. It's sad.
Countless predators use it as their go-to service for
this is a disturbing story.
One thing that VR chat does extremely well is simulating a real conversation from your home. Facial expressions and body movement all add to the feeling that you're actually talking to a real person. In your average video game, this is something that you just don't get very often, and most of the time, it just feels like you're talking to an NPC in a voice chat rather than a real human being. The byproduct of this fact is when you're in VR, it's a lot easier to develop an emotional connection with someone. In fact, it's easier than ever before in the history of the internet.
Is that Jungkook?
After my conversation with the former cult member, it was just a matter of time before I would have to join the Dark Guild myself. But before that, I would need to gather other previous members to get a better understanding of everything that happened within the cult. But most importantly, get a better understanding of Alyssa Afton, the leader of the Dark Guild.
Yeah, get ready, cause I'm about to expose myself so much.
Hey, I don't know what he's about to say, but if he's about to say like something embarrassing shit, hey, props to this little kid. Because yeah, I mean, in these chat rooms, when you're like, you feel kind of connected to somebody, you're gonna be saying some corny shit. So I mean, hey, props to this guy.
Alyssa was very sexually active with me. She wanted me to go visit her in real life so that she could have sex with me. She would also ask for ERP and jerk videos, and every time I used to say no, she used to get angry, which felt like each time I was being backed into a corner.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at some point, mine and Alyssa's relationship did become sex. She would constantly try to flirt with me and offer to ERP, even after being told my age several times.
I was very close to Alyssa.
So these people would repeat their age to her repeatedly, and then she still would be like, I don't care. We're doing this.
Even after being told my age several times.
I was very close to Alyssa, to the point where she thought we were in a relationship. Since I was 15 at the time, I found comfort in knowing an older person could feel those feelings towards me. I felt like I always had something to do when I was with her, whether it just be chatting on call or playing video games. I ended up developing a codependency with Alyssa.
Yeah, Alyssa was involved with multiple minors. I never understood why everyone was okay with it, but I've heard Alyssa often say, it's not illegal if both sides agree to it. So, I don't know, I guess everyone just believed her when she said that. Which I know sounds weird.
That's disgusting. This bitch actually just said that? She said that shit? It's not illegal if both sides agree. And she's saying this to little kids, so she's banking on them not knowing the law.
I don't know, it just wasn't questioned.
Again, 13-year-olds.
Alyssa Afton me, and she has had experiences with a lot of my friends who are under 18 years old. The mental scars this whole experience has put on my mind are so extreme that I was recently diagnosed with Stockholm Syndrome, which is why I found myself going back to seek comfort in Alyssa's presence after breaking out of the cycle so many times. It was so normalized for Alyssa to have relationships with minors in the bubble that we lived in. It got to the point where she would have a ceremony marrying some of the underage guild members in front of everyone.
Ew.
Looking back, it seems so inappropriate. But when it just keeps happening, I guess you just sort of get used to it.
Warning, the footage you are about to watch of Alyssa Afton. Wait, her last name's Afton? How fitting. Isn't William Afton, aren't they the bad guy in FNAF? Jesus Christ. Anyway, warning, the footage you are about to watch of Alyssa Afton, like previous clips throughout this video, is not recent footage. Some of the videos were even filmed when she was still in school. Alyssa is a trans woman, which is why she appears to look male in some of the clips. The footage was found on her public YouTube channel. Oh, she has a YouTube channel? Yo.
Okay. I'm nervous as hell. I don't think I can get this correct, but it's worth trying.
This is Alyssa? Boy.
I'm nervous as hell. I don't think I can get this correct, but it's worth trying. So, yeah, here I go. Wise men say. I literally punched him directly in his stomach, bent down, punched him in the face, hit down, and I just kept stomping on his chest. I'll get back with you once I get my damn food, because I'm going to go on my VR stat and watch some scary shit. So, falling in love with you. How do I say this without being mean? Bitch, I can easily go ahead and fight both of you and mother win. It's amazing how I can keep a very, very low temper. Do me and all of us a flavor that I don't believe it.
Wait, we've been seeing this person since the beginning of the video. I thought this was another victim. It was the leader the whole time.
And please, neck yourself.
Gonna die, bitch.
Dude, he reminds me of this one TikTok guy. Oh yeah, he used to scream Deku and shit.
Why do you gotta be such a sussy bucka? Huh? Why do you gotta be such a sussy bucka? Why do you gotta be such a sussy bucka?
Deku.
Die, bitch. Come to her, bitch.
I will literally knock the out of both of you till you see the queen. 3 to 4 people's head against a damn stall, 1 against a brick wall, and 1 against the sink inside the bathroom. I'm very surprised none of them would snitch, and I'm very surprised none of them had to go to the hospital. There's a reason I don't fight, because I can literally be a danger to society if I fight. I don't need no weapon. My weapon is my hands, and I tend to keep myself calm, because if I keep fighting, I'm gonna end up being a sociopath. I'd rather be a collected, civilized person and fight when I need to.
Don't mess with me. You won't like me when I'm angry.
Now that I'm outside of school, believe me, someone try me, no one's gonna stop me.
Shiver me timbers. Someone said Timmy Tough Knuckles over here.
After I received my invite into the Dark Guild from someone volunteering to help out, I asked everyone I had spoken to leave if they haven't already. And just like that, I had been Trojan horsed into the server, burned the evidence, and now it was finally time to meet Alyssa. After introducing myself in the Dark Guild text chat, Alyssa seemingly took a liking to me quite quickly. An important thing to know is that I joined on my burner account, which stated that I was only 15 years old. Anyway, after a short time of me being in the general text chat, I was granted the co-moderator role out of nowhere. The former members were shocked that I had gained Alyssa's trust so quickly, and things would only escalate further the following day on the 27th of March, when I would meet up with Alyssa and some other members of the Dark Guild in VR chat.
Ooh. Warning, on March 27th at 11:56 p.m., Alyssa invited me to a world called Mansion Meridian, which was the main meeting point for the members of the Dark Guild at the time. Upon joining through my alt account called Siphon55, there were a few kids that greeted me at the front door. After a while of wandering around the mansion, I managed to find Alyssa, and this is where things started to get strange. A lot of the footage from this interaction is unusable. Oh wow, shit must have gotten really nasty. And some of the audio is buggy due to VRChat's voice chat system.
Hey, Alyssa.
What the fucking hell is going on here?
Machine gun! Hey, we out.
After being introduced to Alyssa, she gathered everyone together to ask them questions.
Be real. Be honest. I'm telling you, do not bite your tongue, okay? It's about me. Don't hold back, all right? This is just so you know about me, okay? Everyone who knows that I am a bitch sometimes, please raise your fucking hand. Everyone who knows I can be very rude at times, keep your hands up. Everyone who knows that I'm still there for people, but I just say it how it is, hands up.
Shortly after that strange introduction, I was invited to a private room in the mansion with Alyssa and her 15-year-old boyfriend at the time.
I don't think the one who, wait, who was the one who recruited you?
It was your friend.
We was sitting here, okay. You following me, remember, come on.
Ew, where's she taking them? Once we actually got into the room, Alyssa started to go on a rant about the guild and what its purpose is.
How much of my guild did I tell you about? It's not a gaming place. It's someone we can just chill with. Because if you want to recruit a person, let's be honest here. You don't want to walk up to a person, but like, hi, you want to join my guild? What's it about? You tell them about. They say yes. And then you shake hands, get them ready, be like, okay. That person will walk 500 feet and never talk to you again. So social media is here to help me. You know the kidnapping cases that cops give up upon 2 months in? In other words, we are there to go ahead and find the people, bring them home. We might have to go ahead and kill people if we get you a contract. So you choose either you're behind the scenes or on the field. Behind the scenes is just like doxers, trackers, you get the point. On the field, we're dealing with the issue, we're finding the person, and we're gonna do what we have to do. Either we kill them or jail them. And is the government on our side? Yes, by law. Self-defense in full effect.
Wait, so it's like, are they just encouraging vigilantism?
I do have a question. When you say killing, does that mean like actual killing, or is that roleplay?
I don't roleplay about my guild, so I know you might be scared to kill an actual person. It's up to you. I know for a fact I'm doing it again. It's too
again? I'm doing it again? So Alyssa's killed somebody, apparently.
I know for a
I think she might be capping though.
It's too fun.
How many people have you killed?
So far, 5.
Dude, what if she wasn't bullshitting? What if these are actual victims that like have true cases? After that uncomfortable exchange, Alyssa started to talk about her personal role within the guild along with information about her love life. Oh, ew. I don't want to talk about that.
I'm the leader. My husband, he goes by the but right now he's at like a boot camp, discipline school, whatever until June. And this is my boyfriend over here. It's kind of an open thing. It's not with him. He's not able to share himself with no one.
That's not funny, sorry. But like, just the way she said that. We're in an open relationship, except he can't share himself with anybody.
I'm sorry, but when the last time I checked that you had authority of anything?
Oh no, I was not gonna check for the authority. I was checking if we could go.
That's checking for authority, dumbass. This is why we call him a dumbass.
Can I drop a portal to where only the 4 of us can go through?
Dude, they all sound like kids. After the kids went back downstairs, Alyssa continued her ramble.
Sometimes you might join me, you might hear me ERPing, so please be careful when you join.
You don't want me to hear?
Ew.
I mean, it's up to you.
Ew! You might hear me ERPing, aka you might hear me talking sus with kids. Ew, bro.
Want me?
I mean, it's up to you.
I then started to ask more about the contracts that needed to be signed in order for me to become a formal member of the guild.
Well, the whole contract thing, like, I'm ready to sign a contract, you know? I just want to help.
Give me just a moment. It doesn't mean it's no, it's far from no, it's a yes, but please. I have to go ahead and I have so much excitement just hearing that. So please give me a bit, okay? This is the quickest this shit ever happened. You know me, I have a 4-month wait. He automatically wants to join fully. Like fully. Okay, let's get you inside the guild, I guess.
I then proceeded to sign a contract on Google Docs that made me an official member of the Dark Guild. Oh my god, that's an actual contract. These people are so for real too.
You go ahead and exit the tab now. Welcome to the guild. What the?
Just to double check, my age doesn't matter, right? Because I know sometimes when I try and join groups, like, they kick me out because of my age sometimes.
Age doesn't matter. He's same age. And I'm dating him.
He's how old? He's 15?
See?
My god. Alyssa's 15-year-old boyfriend left the world to go to bed, and then Alyssa instantly started trying to get me to ERP with her.
Okay, fine. I can go ahead and get this on my chest. Hey, so what you doing? So what you want to do?
She's trying to, like,
I don't know. What do you want to do?
It depends. Are you up for anything?
You mean like ERP?
Yeah.
Can we do it tomorrow?
I would say now because I got, I'm like super horny. And I gotta be real quick. And it usually only takes about 5 minutes, so not like a 12 thing.
It only takes about 5 minutes. I hope she's not saying what I think she's saying, like, it only takes 5 minutes. Ew. I then explained that it was too late in the night and that I had to go to bed. After a few minutes of convincing Alyssa, backed off from the idea of ERPing. Over the following weeks, I gathered all the evidence against Alyssa and reported it to Discord and cybertip.org and the FBI tip line. Wait, how old was Alyssa? The 15-year-old boyfriend is no longer dating Alyssa Afton. Let's go, bro escaped.
After I left the world, almost everything that the former members were telling me seemed to be true. Alyssa Afton was using VR chat to cultivate a group of children that believed and did everything she said. And in just under 30 minutes, I had gotten her to confess that she was attracted to minors and that she had allegedly murdered 5 people. But despite me gaining her trust, after that conversation, I would never interact with Alyssa in virtual reality again. But the story is far from over. Now that I had signed the contract that bound me to the cult, it was time to dig up as much information on Alyssa Afton as possible. I started to plan out how I could get Alyssa's—
Oh, Alyssa's like 20? No way.
I started to plan out how I could get Alyssa's real phone number. So the following day, I created a fake story about how I got into a fight at school and then got my PC taken away. I explained that the only way we could still communicate was through iMessage, and just like that, she gave me her number. For weeks, I went unnoticed and undetected, messaging the leader of the first virtual reality cult I had ever heard of, and I slowly started to understand how Alyssa's brain ticked. She kept telling me that she was there for me 24/7. She admitted to ERPing with a mole I sent in there to gain her trust, a mole who faked being underage. She even asked me for photos. And then, silence. Nothing. No message from March 31st to the 16th of April, 4:09 p.m. Then, at 4:10,
Okay, update me. What's up?
I proceeded to explain why I had been gone for so long. Lo and behold, she said she still has my back 24/7 until the day she dies.
You are my guild member. I have your back 24/7 until the day I die.
The guild is my family. The guild is my family. Do you need me to buy you anything? I'm your leader. Get used to it. I'm your family. I'm your family. Welcome to the family.
22 days later, I was no longer a part of the family.
Damn.
Alyssa would often...
Wait, so she caught on?
I remember one time I had told some of the other members about Alyssa's plans to kill criminals, which caused a few of them to leave, but after Alyssa found out that I had told them, she not only threatened to take my life, but also the lives of multiple other people close to me. After that, I had a lot of trouble sleeping, and I was having a lot of panic attacks every day, wondering to myself, is this the day that Alyssa comes to my house?
Yeah, you gotta remember, these are little kids, man. Like, you be threatening family members. Like, not just them, like, but you threaten their family members. Dude, I think I remember having an experience like that. It was like, the idea of anything spooky online having to do with, like, stalkers or anything just creeped me the fuck out. So just imagine that, but 10x. Like, little kids. Obviously, it's gonna scare them more.
Is this the day that Alyssa comes to my house? It really
That's actually like emotional abuse.
Alyssa has threatened to kill people before, but the threats were usually made in a heated argument and nothing would have really come from them. With that being said, I do believe she's capable of taking another human's life. I believe she's a violent person at heart. In fact, I remember one time she tried helping me develop phantom touch, which is essentially the ability to feel a sense of touch through VR. This so she could physically abuse me without me being in the same room as her.
Oh my
I know
god.
it sounds crazy, but that's just how her mind worked. She would try to figure out ways to do things she wanted to children from her bedroom without actually ever meeting them in real life.
I believe Alyssa is a horrid person, She manipulates young people who have no one else to turn to, and then she brags about being the result of someone else's demise, death, and trauma. She does not care for people around her, and is in a constant state of wanting more power and control.
The whole Alyssa situation made me severely depressed, and it made me hate the world around me. Now because of it, I'm paranoid around people I meet online. I came out of that whole situation with severe trust issues, and I'm not sure when everything will go back to normal.
On Saturday the 21st of May, Alyssa Afton found out who I really was. Someone who was helping out with the investigation had unfortunately told Alyssa what was really going on. Many of the people I had worked with still clearly had some leftover loyalty towards her, which is not their fault. It's simply just how they've been rewired. While I didn't want her to find out who I was so soon, I thought...
Does Brandon FM ring a bell? I'm not going to be made a fool. Dude, if I got this message, not gonna lie, I'd be kind of spooked out. Alyssa's a freak.
This call did not go according to plan.
Ooh! We get to hear her?
Hello? Yeah. Oh, I hear you a lot clearer now. Hold on. A couple people contacted me. They said some pretty,
weird shit?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It brought to my attention.
Yeah, so, I guess should we talk about the weird shit?
Yeah. These don't make no fucking sense.
Okay. Well, let's start off with one that you can't deny, because I have recorded proof of it. You're a correct?
Ooh!
There's no need to deny it.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, when I joined, I said I was 15, and within about like an hour or so, you wanted to like ERP with me. Remember that?
Still don't.
I think if you want me to sort of tell you what's been going on, I think like we need to start on some sort of honest ground.
Or you can go ahead and, how I say...
Hard to put words to these feelings, trapped under the rubble of broken ceilings. I'm caved in and tired of living no lie. How can I approach this religion with pride when I question everything that's written inside? They've been singing with joys and praise.
Fucking bars. Let me rewind that.
How can I approach this religion with pride when I question everything that's written inside? They've been singing with joys and praise, but that tune don't ring the same, at least to my ear. Knew there was a reason that distance would occur. This false reality had my vision in a blur. Had to take matters into my own hands. The truth is euphoric, I need more of it. Like, you can call me crazy, just don't blindfold me. Everything they call conspiracy connects with it.
Someone said Central C?
Like, you can call me crazy, just don't blindfold me. Everything they call conspiracy connects with every inch of me. I'm not alone, I had to find my tribe. No longer have to hide disguise. Finally, someone I can trust in this maze. Lucy led the path, no half hearts, just purpose and truth. Wisdom I'm given, the curtains removed. You made me aware of this matrix. She proposed we escape it. Cut off all these people, they don't serve me. Turn off my phone cause they spy and they observe me. She told us we'll be good if we just follow her plan. Get this money any way possible, the system doesn't care. So pack all your bags, we'll head for Wyoming. Getting cash if it's spoiled or stolen. I trust her with it, she helped me find my sanity. She's the one who can turn this dream into reality.
We got Jungkook, now Tyler.
I stuck around for quite some time in the Dark Guild. I'd say like around 6 to 8 months probably. So yeah, quite a long time.
I believe I joined the guild in August of 2021, and by February 2022, I had signed a contract that essentially locked me into the cult. Or at least that was the idea.
No, I didn't sign a contract, but I was offered to sign one to become the leader of what she called the European sector. The European sector was part of the plan to divide the guild up into continents due to the growth within the guild. Being the leader of the European sector basically meant that you would have full control over your own separate server, dedicated to the Dark Guild members that were European. It also meant that you were obliged to send like this monthly report to Alyssa.
That's crazy. So they planned on expanding, becoming a proper organization, spanning across countries and continents.
You have full control over your own separate server, dedicated to the Dark Guild members that were European. It also meant that you were obliged to send like this monthly report to Alyssa containing statistics, such as like most active members, suspicious individuals, so on and so forth. I think the main reasons contracts were there was so Alyssa could have like just another form of leverage over people. And I think in a lot of cases it worked. But this was really my final straw. It's when I decided to leave the guild. Like, she was demanding I sign a contract and I just didn't feel comfortable with that, so I just left.
I guess maybe the contracts are put in place so Alyssa could have full custody of you and your choices. I mean, I don't really know since I haven't looked into it, but knowing Alyssa, it's probably something like that. She would use multiple types of manipulation on me, and the contract just seems like another one of those.
Alyssa described it as bounding my soul to the guild to fulfill my duty as a sector leader. The contract was only in place to move people up the ranks and scare children from leaving the cult, as they don't really have the understanding to determine what contracts are legitimate or not.
No, yeah, like these contracts are bullshit. They know that these kids don't know shit about contracts. We just know that contracts are official. If you sign it, you basically signed your soul to the devil. That's how kids think. So the contract is to appear very official, very intimidating. Once you're in this, you can't get out. The kids are gonna believe that. So if they sign it, they're gonna be like, oh fuck, like I can't do anything. They're gonna put up with all the abuse. They're gonna put up with all of the grooming.
They don't really have the understanding to determine what contracts are legitimate or not.
The Dark Guild targeted lonely kids that wanted to make friends online using virtual reality. After they got comfortable within the group and made strong relationships with others their age, Alyssa Afton, a woman over the age of 20, started to groom and exploit them. Convinced them to do everything she said, and when they didn't, she would threaten exile, and she used fake contracts to scare children into submission. Using these disgusting measures of entrapment, she cultivated the first
that's entrapment. Yeah, I've always thought that was so scummy though. That whole thing about threatening self-harm in response to somebody saying that they're gonna leave you, it's disgusting, bro. Okay, not gonna lie, this sound reminds me of the Grimace Shake era.
Couldn't see the reason separation was apparent. This used to feel fulfilled and now this land is barren. The strongest bond turned to empty interaction. In every class feeding into everything distracting. Can't pin the point, the cracks appeared like stiffened joints. But ever since I saw the distance, I questioned his direction.
Hey chat, what's this type of poetry? I forgot. It almost sounds like rap, but they're just speaking. What is it called? Slam.
Like
it's that, slam poetry. Yeah.
But ever since I saw the distance, I questioned his direction. Meeting with all the strangers, I questioned his intentions. A peek into your mind to understand what you've discovered. He speaks as if his eyes are wide but previously covered. Chosen for a reason, he preaches. Wondering who he went to for the speech that he teaches. Acting as a prophet, promising life purpose, recruiting other students to his movement. These wild conspiracies sounded so stupid, just breeded confusion. Yet to others it resonates, as if they found a new hope on closer than heaven's gates. Selling hope to half our classmates, even setting up events to speak, but I feel that lead to broken pathways, an eeriness and disbelief that I can't shake. Hard to fathom these words cult-like, and absurd yet sinking deeper with every second. Thinking about thoughts that my friend had let in, dangerous ideologies giving immense attention. If this is sickness, then I don't have the antidote. I just hope you don't dig deeper into this rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah, I got chills right there. That was nice. He's nice with it. He's nice with it.
Personally, I never knew where the name Alyssa Afton came from, but if I had to guess, it was probably inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, now knowing what we know about Alyssa and like how she talks, it's 100% certainty now that she used the name Afton in reference to FNAF.
If I had to guess, it was probably inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's.
The only thing I remember she said about where her name came from was something about a murder in the iconic Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Yeah, I'm not particularly sure where the name Alyssa Afton came from, but I know that in the Five Nights at Freddy's games, there's a character called William Afton.
Yep.
Maybe there's some correlation there.
There you go.
The name Alyssa Afton didn't seem to just come out of thin air. A lot of the former members seem to think that she had taken the last name alias from a popular video game, Five Nights at Freddy's,
there you
where
go.
a man in a purple suit called William Afton killed 5 children. And it's hard to look back on Alyssa's footprint and not draw out.
That's how you know she's fucking lying then about the killing 5 people. Yeah, William Afton killed 5 children, so she just said 5. Like, oh, I killed 5? What are we, just like my idol, William Afton?
Called William Afton killed 5 children. And it's hard to look back on Alyssa's footprint and not draw out some parallels. Alyssa claimed that she had also killed 5 people. All the victims she abused online were children, and her last name comes directly from the man himself, William Afton. So, did Alyssa kill 5 people?
No.
Is she just trapped in a constant state of character,
Yeah,
longing
yeah,
to
yeah.
become the Purple Man?
1000%.
Or is it all just a coincidence? I'm honestly not too sure.
She's capping.
Well, that's enough. Today's vlog.
Oh my god, not the Freddy. Oh my god.
Me, my plushy self. Let me show y'all the others. Come on. Foxy, and fun time, Foxy. I'm gonna set this back here. Says body.
Get Freddy away from her. When that video was posted, Alyssa was only 15. Oh, okay, okay. She is now 21.
So what now? What next? It's currently the 6th of August, and this video is supposed to be out on the 12th. Ever since Alyssa hung up that phone call weeks ago, I've lost all entrances into the Dark Guild and lost all contact with Alyssa herself. At least, that was the case 12 hours ago. Since then, just a few things have changed. Just a few. So, let me just catch you up. In about 5 hours or so, every single text chat, voice chat, person, and role will be deleted from the Dark Guild. The entire Discord server will be left a barren wasteland full of nobody. And this will all happen while Alyssa is fast asleep.
It's hilarious.
Did y'all hear that fake ass laugh? Bro's trying to be fucking Light Yagami or something.
What was I gonna say? Okay, let's get this rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention. A potential emergency situation has arisen, and as a precaution, we will be preparing the cabin for an emergency landing. You must listen carefully to the following instructions.
Pay attention, Alyssa. Oh, is this like a call out to Alyssa? Oh, is this a direct call out? Yo. This is for Alyssa right here. Oh shit. Oh, is this like all the evidence? Hey, we smoking that Alyssa pack. Nuked. Completely nuked. Completely nuked the Discord server. Oh! We're speaking to Alyssa. Hello, Alyssa. Oh. Thank you, Ultra. Who's Ultra? It's like
Yes, that is one downside of having a purely digital cult. One day, everything's fine. The next day, your admin gives the one person you don't want in the server the power to ban everybody and delete every single text channel. Now, with that being said...
Oh, so that's what happened. They got somebody to fucking ban everybody for their own good and saved them and then just deleted everything.
Obviously, this will not get rid of Alyssa. She will just rebuild, make a new guild, maybe fix the server that we completely broke. But hopefully, what this will do is raise awareness about the person she actually is. Hopefully, it'll convince a few of the guild members who decided to stick by her to finally click the block button. It's been a couple hours now since the guild got deleted, and already I've heard rumors about Alyssa putting a hit out on me. So, if I go missing, you know who it is. Apparently.
Oh my god. Like, what could the hit be? Imagine Alyssa, of all people, putting a hit on you, and just like some fat Redditor shows up. What the fuck is he gonna do?
She's had a hit out on me since she found out who I was, and I'm still here. So, I don't really think there's anything to worry about. Also, Alyssa, I know you're watching. Don't forget I signed the contract that made me an official guild member until the day I die. So, don't expect me to just abandon you anytime soon, you know? We have to stick together as guild members, so I'm sure we'll meet again soon.
Ooh. Hey, that's actually kind of a loophole too. She was like, I have your back. Like, you're my guild member. I have your back until I die. So she literally can't hurt him because that goes against the contract. Alyssa has already began her new cult on a fresh server. Ooh.
So can a cult based purely in virtual reality cause as much pandemonium and media buzz as a cult like Aum Shinrikyo? In theory, yes. However, the chances are extremely slim. While VR chat can simulate real life better than any other technology, tricking rocket scientists and physicists into joining a cult on Discord doesn't seem very doable, especially with the internet being at everyone's fingertips. The reason Alyssa was successful in her goal is because she targeted children in minds that were vulnerable, which I think is the only way that you could convince thousands of people something as extreme as a cult set of beliefs using a purely digital platform such as VR chat. At the end of the day though, Aum Shinrikyo and the Dark Guild are completely different, and comparing them would be disrespectful. However, one thing is certain. Shoko and Alyssa both achieved their goals through manipulation, lies, and rewiring of the human brain, which ended up traumatizing a lot of people.
That's so sad, man. With cases like this, I always think about my brothers, because I'm the oldest brother, right? But my youngest brother, he's considerably younger than me and my other brother, who are significantly older. He's, right now he's 16 or 17. No, I mean, growing up, I think I did a good job conditioning him and like telling him about all things internet related, so he's not fucking stupid, and he knows like he knows what to look for. He's not easily manipulatable, and yeah.
The main difference is one of them did it through the heart of Japan, and the other did it from an Oculus Quest in their bedroom located in the state of Georgia.
So this is the end of the vlog. I am sorry if it's so short. I tried to make a longer one. I just got back to vlogging. But anyway, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe now, and like if you dislike this.
Don't subscribe and don't like.
And share. Just so they know about me. I am such a good person. Unless you cross me the wrong way, then bitch, you're dead. But anyway, see you guys.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to my Patreons for making this video possible.
Hey, that was a good
video.
video.
Cost a lot of money to make.
I really enjoyed like the choice of music and the overall production, like the use of the VR scenery. I thought it was like a really nice touch. Again, props to Brandon FM for bringing light to this issue. No, yeah, I mean, like I said at the beginning of the video, I ended up being correct. There was grooming going on, and the thing is, the barrier to entry with this type of cult with sexually exploiting minors is so easy, and like it almost makes you less guilty feeling, because you can always fall back on the excuse, oh, it's not real, like it's I didn't actually touch any minors, nothing actually took place in reality in a virtual world. So I just knew from the second that I saw that this took place in VR chat, there's definitely going to be minors and children involved. Surely now that it blew up in her face once, even though she might come back and try and create another cult, no, yeah, I mean, I just really doubt she's gonna come back and do anything else. I think this is gonna scare the fuck out of her. So that, no, yeah, W video, W investigation that this guy put on, and W result. That's it for this video. I will see you in the next video. Remember to subscribe. All right, bye.